Welcome to the Spiritual and Cosmic Podcast of Lady D, the podcast where the mystical meets every day. I'm your host, Lady D, psychic, medium, astrologer, spiritual guide, and cosmic truth teller. Each week we'll dive into real talk about living in a spiritual life in a human world. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the messy, and in between. From psychic insights, astrology breakdowns, to soulful chats and cosmic truths. This is your sacred space to awaken, expand, and keep it 100% real. So grab your crystals, open your heart, and let's get spiritual and cosmic. Welcome to Spiritual and Cosmic with Lady D, the podcast where we dive deep into the real and raw and the magical side of the spiritual world. I'm your host, Lady D, and today's episode, we're peeling back the layers on a topic that isn't often talked about out loud, but is definitely felt by many: psychic envy. That's right. Today we're diving into the hidden shadows within the spiritual community, where one psychic envies another. We'll talk about where it comes from and how it shows up, and how we can move beyond competition and into collaboration and authentically. Whether you've experienced this envy from others or caught yourself feeling this too, this episode is a safe and honest space to unpack with love and awareness. So grab your tea, settle in, and let's shine light on the parts of the spiritual path that most people won't talk about, but must in order to grow. So psychic envy, it is real, and it is something that does happen to psychics. It's something that I do experience, I must say, even currently. So in the psychic world, there are a number of psychics. The industry, it is flooded with them. And you find that when you go to fairs, there is a hierarchy of psychics and there's certain game playing, there's certain things are, and it is to make you feel insecure. That is one thing that I know that I have felt in my time. And I've learned to reflect and rise above that. And sometimes it can be quite hard when people are trying to sort of perceive things from you, or they are trying to really do things that are planned so that it sort of rattles you and shakes you, and to send a message to you. And it's something that, can be really, these people are a bit spiteful, they're envious, but they don't see the work that you put in. They don't see the hard work. So yes, I am psychic, I am a medium and I'm an astrologer. But apart from that, I also have another job. So I juggle 2 jobs, and I'm often working 6-7 days a week. And even last night, I was up to 1 a.m. just working on doing things. So people don't see that, and usually it comes, these envious, they just see what they want to see, what they want to perceive. But they usually I find their life is a little bit more, I guess, envious. So as an example, what is happening right now, I am part of the 4 pillars, and we do have the psychic cruises. And this is something that came up from a conversation that I had with my friend over in New Zealand. Now, we did the homework, we did the Googling, and we were able to make this spectacular event happen. And we've actually got 2 more cruises up in the works as well. So when you've got another psychic who has also done cruising but has not done any of the planning, any of the organizing, but considers themselves on a higher platform than you are, so it does rattle some cages. And with that does come the envious. As an example today, I've had feelings before where I have felt that I'm not good enough, especially when you've had certain mentors that do consider themselves on a higher platform, not wanting to work with you, not asking to work with you, not asking you to do platform. And it does make you feel like you're not worthy or you're not good enough. And then there's a whole lot of mix that happens with fairs behind the scenes. Like, we are there for our clients, we are there for the people, but there's a lot of things going on in the background. And it's all part of, I guess, how we grow. And as I said, we are spiritual beings living in a human existence. And it's really hard, and sometimes it can really, really, shake you, and how to deal with other people. So for me, I tend to take a step back in the fairs, and I don't really fit in with the fairs. Even the way that I dress, the way that I present myself is very different to how a lot of the other psychics present themselves. So I do dress very professionally. I'm always got makeup on. I'm always dressed very, very well because that's part of my brand. And also for me, whenever I wanted to get a reading from someone, I've often chose someone that looked more put together than someone who didn't look as put together. I'll just say that. So, and people see how you look, and that is also gets part of the envious. I had a falling out with a psychic last year because I wouldn't bend to her calling, and as part of that, she also would make comments about, look at how you dress, look at how you present yourself. No wonder everyone's jealous of you. And it's these comments, I didn't think much of it until we had our falling out. And again, there's more comments that she had made towards me that were very rude and that were really not called for, and then expected me to be okay with the comments. If someone's going to really insult you, you're not going to be okay with it. So fast forward to that now, and you've got other mediums complaining about the mediums. So, when we are there at an event and we're promoting our upcoming cruise, and then the organisers have not even asked whether or not you'll want to be on platform, but then you got a psychic who feels they are, on a higher platform, who are above you, then goes and asks another psychic that they know you've had problems with, that have known been talking about, the gossiping and things, then ask them to be on platform. So that actually happened to me today, where a psychic that I used to look up to, I don't look up to anymore, asked this one that I had a problem with. And she knew about the problem, and she totally was horrified, and she was, supporting me through that journey. But today, and it did like sort of rattle me, and I actually went and watched them perform, and I was asking my guides, why is this? Why did she never ask me? Why would she ask her? And I just got, she's envious. She's envious, and it's about the cruise. So it was like an attack, I guess. It was like something that it's really hard, and and it's about us rising above this. There wasn't many people at this event, so we don't have that many readings. We do have the lady that was a bit rude to me, that had problems with her partner, actually comes around to the stand regularly to see how many readings you've done. And then he also approaches other stall holders of other, not readers, but other stall holders that sell other products, to go and have a reading with his partner. That's what his job is at the fair. So that can also be a bit annoying. I don't really have anyone that does that, and I don't believe in doing that. People come to me because they choose me for the reasons it's them. I'm not going to go up to anyone and convince them or ask them to come and have a reading with me. So there were all these things going on, and I'm sure if you are someone that's entering in the psychic world, if you've experienced that yourself and how that has made you feel, that it can sort of sometimes, shake your confidence. I have found it hard because of my age. I am one of the younger psychics that are in industry, and I've been the younger one for a long time. So for me, I've had to work twice as hard, because people don't think that I've gone through anything bad, or they question my age of how good I am. They don't see behind the scenes. So this is a topic that happens, I'm sure, a lot. For me, it makes me sort of realize and question, I don't fit in. Do I particularly want to hang out with people who are like this? No, I don't. But then when at the moment I'm not reading from a shop, so how do I then go out and, get other clients? So those things are also coming up on your mind. So it is something that, is hard, but we rise above it. It is a journey, and it is something that we have to, I guess, soul search and go within and know that our time will come. there'll be a time where I will, be asked to go on stage at events, and I will be asked to do platforms. It's just waiting for my turn to be there where my star is shining brighter than, other people's. But, the game playing that happens, it's very high school, it's very mischievous, but it's also, there are other readers out there that I got a reading of a lady who's in the Shire. So she's very pricey and it's very expensive, but I promised myself for research I'd go and get a reading of her. And she doesn't go to the fairs, but she does also write for a magazine. But being in her company and other readers that I go to for readings, when you're in their company, they never make you feel like they are above you. They never make you feel that insecure. They're always there to guide you and to help you and to help you through your own career. So there are psychics out there who want to help you, and I am also one of those ones. When I get a client, I want to be that person's cheerleader, whether they are another client or it's a reader, so and I'm reading for. So it definitely, that does come into it, and you'll find your people. So for me, I have people in the industry that I can count as friends who I can rely on. So that is also a plus, who also maybe experience the same things and can see through we'll say the bull crap that happens. And I say, like, for me, I do try and stand out um, or stand in the background, even though my appearance tends to stand out, but I tend to stay away from the certain cycles that I don't want to mingle with. But it also makes me think more, like with that one that I always felt like I was never good enough. Um, Late last year, I sort of realized that even if I got the opportunity to work with her, I wouldn't want to work with her because of what I've seen. I don't really like as well, and the calculating I've seen, but then try to make out she's innocent. So it's very interesting, especially when the lady she had asked to go up, which she knew I had problems with, had tried to button me up, and then also was like, the person I had problems with had blocked me on certain platforms, but then also were like, why don't you call me, or why are we're friends. So these people try to manipulate you and play games and think that if you look like me, who I look like a pushover at times, and not going to push back, or is going to fall for the victim mentality, which I don't fall for victim mentalities. I usually can see through them. But also with the transits that are happening right now, we've got the Venus conjunct Uranus as unexpected with relationships. So it really has been an eye-opener of a day. It has made me a bit angry as well. And, it just makes you think about, these people must be insecure themselves to want to go out of their way to prove a point to someone or to send a message to someone like that. They are very insecure. Um, Another thing that happened today, which is quite funny, another medium who's also a little bit, say a little bit funny, she be calculating, but she put her business cards in the toilets, and I went and collected the business cards and then gave them to her and acted like why would these be in the toilet? Why would you? Someone must have put them there, and they're going to get wet, and I wouldn't want these to get wet because you need them to hand it out to clients. And so that was a bit of a funny thing that happened today, which I did. So you got tricksters, you got people that do funny things, but psychic envy is a real thing. It's something that I do experience. And part of it is because of the way that I look, so what they perceive that my life has been. But really, my clothes are not that expensive. I just go and choose clothes on the sales, but I make sure I look nice and presentable. I make sure that I have a fresh face of makeup. I get my hair done. Because I want to look, as number one, as part of my branding. I want to look the part, but also I'm dressing for work. So for me, I come from a corporate background. So back when I first had my full-time job, I worked in an office, and back in the early 2000s and 90s, when you worked in an office or corporate background, you dressed the part. So, and people, I don't know, maybe they don't realize that. Maybe they feel like psychics need to look like gypsies. That seems to be the trend. I think that is the Neptune uh, in Pisces that I spoke about last week, which I also spoke about will change with Neptune in Aries, and we're more of a spiritual warrior. And that's why I classify myself as a spiritual warrior. But I know that I've got friends who are also in industry that will have my back and can see things and don't have that envious, because some of them are, well, actually some of them now are same age as me, who experience the same things and going through the same things as well. Um, I know I love being part of the Four Pillars and doing podcasts with them, and doing things with them that's coming up is going to be an amazing experience where there is no envy, and it's like all of us coming together to try and get ahead, but also bringing our talents. Like, I am not envious of Katrina, who does the numerology, or psychic pinup, with her work as well, and the same with when we have Nell, who does the empowerment. We all bring up different things too. And as one famous medium once said in her workshop, she said, "There's enough dead people for us all," which is 100% true. So, you know, just be aware these things happen. If it's something that you're going through yourself, just know that it's the envy on their part. And if they're making you feel insecure, it means that maybe, number one, they're threatened by you, that maybe, you can do things they can't. As an example, if I do a platform, I can actually pinpoint and go to a person directly in the audience and tell them I have their loved one and what I am getting from their loved one. I can call in. If you want to know from someone in your family, I can call them in and give you a message from them. As the other people that do these platforms, they do not. They put out a whole list of things and let the audience decide. So, I think that's also part of the envious there as well. So that is my episode for today. It's an uncomfortable topic, but it's something that I thought it came up today for me. I'm doing my podcast tonight, so I definitely wanted to talk about it. But let me know, how has psychic envy been for you? Have you had that happen to you? And, how did you react? Because I know for me today, I have felt very angry, but it was also put a fire within me to do better, and that I know I'm going to get somewhere. There's other people who are doing these things. I know that I'm going to overtake them. And, my career is just starting. I'm young, and we'll definitely see where I go. But yeah, so psychic envy may be uncomfortable, but it's real. And acknowledge it it's the first step of transforming it. Remember, there is no competition. It is just true soul work. So your gifts are unique. Your journey is sacred, and no one can do what you came here to do in the way that you do it. So we do all read it differently. So let's build a spiritual community based on respect, support, and truth, not comparison or fear, or when others rise, we all fall. So thank you for tuning into this honest conversation. If this episode resonates with you, please share it, tag someone who needs to hear it, or leave a review. So I'm Lady D, and this has been Spiritual and Cosmic. Until next time, stay magical, stay grounded, and keep shining your light. So bye for now.